Um, Hi everyone, we are Group 6 from Section 4.2. I would like to share with you the university decision project that we made during our group project. Next slide, please. In the first part, I would like to introduce the background and vision of our project. Next slide, please. Yes. In part 2, we will analyze our product's target market. In part 3, we will introduce the details about the solution we offer. And also in the last part, we will analyze our business model. Next slide, please. Yeah. We as students have experienced the process of selecting universities. Although everyone has their preference, there are shared factors that every student will consider in the decision-making process, such as college location, major, tuition, ranking, and so on. Next slide. We want to provide a product that can facilitate the decision-making process. Students can spend more time preparing the application for the university instead of spending time on information collection. Also, we want to help students make swift decisions, not merely focus on a single factor such as college ranking, and also be familiar with the college they choose before they go to the university. Our product combines school ranking, tuition fees, and weather conditions to help our customers to select their dream universities. Next slide. Our product is designed to solve the customer's pain. Choosing which university to go is an important decision. It at least decides where you will live in the next couple of years. However, many students aren't familiar with these universities, and also they know nothing about the future life they will experience. They have to search millions of websites, get information that matters to them, and arrange them in Excel to compare. It is very time-consuming and painful, and our product is just what students need. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, this one. Without our product, students will waste a lot of time in information collection. Also, some students may turn to professional agencies to help them make decisions. But actually, in reality, most agencies only provide suggestions based on university ranking, and it is just a waste of money. Instead of presenting one-dimensional information, we provide filters for university ranking, tuition, and weather. Students can easily get the list of their dream universities using our product. And the next part is part 2, yes.
And hi, we'll talk about the second part, our target market. Our target customers are students and their parents in the final year of their senior high school. Also, we welcome undergraduate and graduate students. They can use our system to find a good university for exchange or further study. How big is the market? Nearly 20 million students are admitted to universities in US every year, and the total international enrollment stands at about 1 million students in the 2021 and 22 school year, compared to 916,000 in the previous year. We can expect this number to increase in the future. So this is a promising market for UN Decision. The market driver is information asymmetry. Students, especially international students and families, have no easy access to college information, or they need to merge the data by themselves to get a final conclusion. As long as students want to know which college to attend, we can help them. In the future, the UN decision would upload more elements that our customers' concerns, such as scholarship, majors, future average income to help students plan their life better.
Yeah, so I will explain the solution. So when we started with the solution, we decided to combine the various information from different sources. So these sources are the ranking, which we got from web scraping, the tuition, which we got from API, as well as the weather, which we got from an API. So these three factors would help students decide which universities to choose, right? And so this would provide a one-stop solution for students. What this would do is this would create an immense value, and this would also save time, reduce anxiety, and make sure that the parents and the students take better decisions, because we are essentially giving it like a one-stop solution. Next slide. So how do we design this product? The user would input the rank of the university. The user would also input the tuition, the maximum tuition that he or she can afford. Would input the minimum temperature that the person would like the city to have or the university's location to have, and the maximum average temperature that the student would like the location to have. Next slide. So for example, like this. So this is what the user will enter. The user will be asked about the minimum rank that the user would like to go to, the tuition, what the maximum tuition the student can pay, and what would be the weather that the student would like. Once they enter it, next slide, then they would get a bunch of results, wherein we have essentially given a visual interactive plots, wherein we describe about the in-state and the out-of-state tuition of various universities based on the parameters that user has given. We also give the costs for the top 5 ranked universities, which you can see in the bottom half, and the cost of the bottom 5 ranked universities. Next slide. We also provide a plot wherein we give the temperature change of all the universities, which would help the user make informed decisions about universities that they would like to go for. Next slide. Yeah. Over to Chad.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little about the business model. Next slide, please. So how we make money is primarily through advertising. We want to get to a point where the schools want us to recommend them and they want to advertise on our platform. We don't want to make users have to pay for our platform, especially because we know that kids will be taking out loans to pay for these schools to begin with. So that's one of the big things that we want to use to attract users and clientele, is to make it completely free and make our money strictly through advertising. Next slide, please. So this is a little of our business model. So we really want to focus on getting and keeping clients so that they recommend us to their peers and to the next generation of students. So one way we'll do this is by tracking students over the lifetime of their attending the university. So we'll keep track of how many of them graduate from the school that we recommend. Next slide, please. So we do have competition. The big thing is a lot of the competition is a subscription service. So you have to pay for their services. So by making ours completely free, we can kind of beat some of that competition. And most of the competition focuses just on rankings. But again, we're using rankings, weather, and tuition as a selection, and the data is constantly updated. So it's a unique way of recommending universities that these other tools don't have. Next slide, please. So our launch strategy, definitely through advertising, and like I mentioned earlier, is the peer-to-peer network. We want people to recommend to their peers. We can get really big in certain cities or certain states from people just recommending to the next generation how they found their school. And the way we can do that is by recommending them the right school for them, which we think our tool can do. And another part that we want to focus on is getting international students, because international students often don't know a lot about specific universities or about the cities that they're in. So if we can target international students, we can develop a large client base. Next slide, please. So the key drivers, again, like I mentioned, is recommending the right school, which we believe that our tool does. Because if we can recommend the right school, and over 4 years, if we can have a high rate of customers who stay at that school that we recommend, we can show and demonstrate that our tool is proven and good at doing what it does. And then we can get new customers off of that. So the first couple of years will probably be the hardest, just to develop that client base. And then once we do that, we'll have a good reputation built that we'll be able to continue successfully. Next slide, please. That concludes our presentation. Thank you all for listening.
Is that okay?
Yes.
No, start when you have already placed